It's after 6 a.m. UK time and Sean O'Malley has just declared himself as the best striker in the UFC. I do not care what anybody says. His feints, his movement, his speed are unmatched. He's the best striker in the UFC. Forget Adesanya with his little hip feints and all that type of stuff that mean nothing, don't impose anything. O'Malley has just schooled Marlon Vera for 5 rounds. Vera had a good round in round 4, but still not enough for O'Malley. 50-45, 50-45 and 50-44 across the board. O'Malley schooled them. My prediction came true 100%. I made an early prediction in October when this fight was first announced. Back in, I think it wasn't October it was announced. However, I said early prediction for Marlon Vera, Sean O'Malley back in October. I said O'Malley schools him for 5 rounds. Go and watch the fucking video. And that's what he did. Sean O'Malley went out there. It's 6:30 in the morning UK time. Look at my eyes. I'm in my dressing gown. I'm shattered, but I could not make this video. Sean O'Malley absolutely mauled him. I thought Sean O'Malley was going to throw more low kicks, however he didn't. He didn't need to. Vera is a big bantamweight. He's a huge. When he was stood in there, I was like, wow, okay. O'Malley used him as a punching bag. Massive strike differentials in every round except the 4th. I think there was only like 6 strikes different in the 4th. Vera was landing a lot of dirty boxing shots when he would run at O'Malley and land a few. O'Malley does this. O'Malley's beautiful, right? When Vera would come forward with that lead side kick, O'Malley would kind of turn his back and move back and just completely avoid it. He did it to Aljamain Sterling as well with that lead side kick coming in. His footwork is the big thing. O'Malley throws a right hand in orthodox, then leaves the pocket in southpaw, which is so tricky to read, so tricky to understand. It's the most effective style for striking in MMA. You need to be so athletic. You need to be so focused, right? And we've seen this in O'Malley's fights. The Peter Yan fight, O'Malley's best round was the 3rd round. He landed the most shots because he then knows, okay, I've been focused for all these rounds. Now this last round, I can output all of this energy. It's the same thing in this fight. His best round, the round where he landed the most significant strikes, was the 5th round. We've seen O'Malley can go 5 rounds. I've told everyone his cardio's never been a question. The Peter Yan fight was a sprint from the start, a 3-round war where they didn't have to set the pace. It's different when you're pacing yourself for a 5-round fight. It's completely different. Vera was absolutely schooled. Vera's a massive bantamweight. He can take a very, very good shot. However, O'Malley just was too fast for him. His feints were too fast. Straight right hand was there whenever O'Malley looked for it. O'Malley's body shots were a big thing in this fight. I think he was throwing that body shot hoping Vera would drop his hands and he could land that big right hook. He actually threw a knee right up the middle because Vera keeps a very high guard, so it's always open. It's a very Muay Thai stance. O'Malley landed a huge knee, stunned Vera bad, stunned Vera very bad, and I think it was the 5th round as well. Or the 3rd round, I think it was, had Vera pedaling back towards the cage. Vera took the shot well at first, waited, then you could see him starting to pedal back, like, oh god, okay, I'm rocked here. O'Malley said when he kneed Vera as hard as he could in the face, he heard a few things crack in his face. We've never seen visible damage on Marlon Vera's face until now. His whole face was swollen up. Crazy, just a crazy night. It's 7 in the morning right now for me. Unbelievable. I need to move to the US. I need to move to the US like badly because this is absolutely unbelievable, and I can't keep doing this to myself. However, I love this sport. This sport is my soul. This sport keeps me alive. This sport is my every being. I'm obsessed with it. And good man Sean O'Malley. The pink shorts looked great. He schooled him. He absolutely dominated that fight. Not boring in the slightest. Everyone said it was going to be a boring fight. I don't think so. I said O'Malley by knockout. It wasn't quite O'Malley by knockout. I also said there was a chance of a submission. End of the 1st round of the 2nd. I think it was the 2nd round. O'Malley jumped on the guillotine and I was like, oh, please. Because I said guillotine. No guillotine. I thought it would be like a flash knockdown. O'Malley kind of had Vera. He missed Vera with a glancing right hand and Vera kind of dropped to one knee for a second as well. I think that was in the 2nd round. Phenomenal performance. He just battered them. He absolutely just dismantled them. His teep to the body is lightning quick. It's his footwork. That's all. It's just his footwork, his speed, his feints. And at the very last second of the fight, O'Malley was like, "Oh, there's 10 seconds left. Let's trade in the pocket. Try get that viral knockdown or KO." Straight to the body. Vera landed straight to the body. Didn't hurt O'Malley visibly in the fight, but as soon as the final bell went, O'Malley sat down, and you can only imagine how exhausted he is. He threw over 340 punches that night in that fight while going backwards. He's done it against Chris Moutinho. Crazy. We seen him slow down slightly in the fourth, but that's because he was getting tagged a little bit. He was just getting his composure about him. I want to see O'Malley versus Topuria. That fight would be fucking huge. Topuria's got a much better stylistically to beat O'Malley than Vera. And O'Malley's got a very good style to beat Topuria. Very like Jai Herbert like physique. We've seen Jai Herbert knock down Topuria with a head kick. I personally think O'Malley beats Topuria. However, I also think O'Malley beats Merab. Merab is most likely next for the title. What a night of fights. I'll make videos separately on the rest of the card tomorrow. Well, technically in like 5 hours time when I wake up. But it's currently 7 a.m. I have work at 10. This is what I mean. I can't continue living in this country. I can't live in the UK being a fan of the UFC. It's my soul. This sport keeps me alive. If there was no MMA, I wouldn't be on this planet. And I'm getting a bit emotional here because I've been following Sean O'Malley since he's had 8,000 followers. He's now on 4 million. And he's the champion of the world. Skinny kid, dedicated to his craft, disciplined individual. Without this sport, I wouldn't be here. There's just no point in me. Like, the only things I think about every single day is the UFC. I think about fighting. I think about training and being the best in the world. Walking out to a song and closing my eyes and having an arena erupt. Having my family nervous on the side of the cage. And I'm getting emotional here just because Sean O'Malley is undoubtedly my favourite fighter to watch inside the octagon. He's the best striker in the UFC, undoubtedly. Anyone who wants to argue that, regardless of who he fights, he doesn't throw shitty little leg hip feints. He throws tactical feints. You know, he makes people a shell of themselves. I believe he beats Peter Yan in a rematch. I'd love to see a rematch. I think he beats Merab. I think he beats Topuria. I think the only way to equalise O'Malley is crack him with a big shot early. Make him really respect you. He builds into fights as well. We've seen his last round in pretty much every single UFC fight he's had. If he's gone the distance, his last round he lands the most strikes. He tries to make a statement. He tries to knock people out. Really, you're not going to knock Marlon Vera out. If there was one more round in that fight, I think O'Malley gets him out of there. Phenomenal performance. A great championship performance. A great experience. Well done, Sean O'Malley. And still bantamweight champion of the world. He's righting that wrong finally. You know, everyone always said, you know, oh, Ecuador, O'Malley fucking schooled him. O'Malley fucking battered him. That was beautiful to watch. I'll be rewatching that. That was absolutely beautiful. O'Malley's going to be partying his head off. He got pay-per-view points. I would love to hear what the pay-per-view did. I'll be tuning into his podcast next week. It'll probably come out Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm getting in the gym Monday. It's motivating. A skinny kid going out there doing something like that. Unbelievable. Undeniable. A force. Brutal force. Sean O'Malley gets it done. Fair play to you, sir. Enjoy your evening, everybody. Well done, O'Malley. I'm buzzing. See you later. I'm going to bed now and I'll be waking up in 3 hours. Well, 2 hours technically. I've got to wake up at 9, go to bed at 10. So please drop a sub. I'd really appreciate that, folks. I'm coming for it all.